Hi, Paul Sladkus, Good News Planet. I'm graying a little here, and I'm going to be speaking to Dr. Ellyn Lem. Hi, doctor. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm graying a little here. I'm losing some hair, and we're going to talk about gray matters. I mean, does that mean internal here? Finding meaning in the stories of later life. But I'm only in midlife. So, but in any case, it's later than earlier life. So I'm going to
You get
accept.
to decide for yourself, where nobody's going to put an age on you. You get to decide what stage you're at.
100% goo goo gaga, goo goo gaga. So
Yes, I do.
you're in trouble here, Ellen. All right, so tell us about a book that you wrote, and you're very well known, and you're doing a lot of helpful lectures and speaking out and writing, and congratulations. Thank you for coming on Good News. So tell us a little bit about who you are and how come you write about things like this.
Terrific. Thank you for that introduction. Yeah, I'm an English professor in the University of Wisconsin system here, and it seems a little bit like a strange book for an English professor to write, but I also do a lot of cultural studies. So my first book was on the work-family debate in popular culture when people were talking a lot about that when Anne Marie Slaughter's article came out. And I feel like aging is now the topic that is really relevant, and it's relevant to my life. I got a lot of people in their 80s in my life, and I was sort of curious to see what the research said. I was seeing a lot of books and films and TV shows, and so I wanted to bring it all together and learn something about this period of time.
Wow. I'm here on the Upper West Side here in Manhattan, and I was in one of the flower shops, and Nathan Lane, who's on Broadway, actor, and How to Succeed in Business, a lot of shows. He was on the phone sending flowers to Mel Brooks, and basically, and so his comment we put on the note was that Mel was turning 60 at the time. He goes, 60 is the new 40. that was his comment. So is 60, let's say 65, what they call, some people say seniors, or AARP says 50s seniors.
Right.
In any case, isn't seniors 90?
Well, as I said, I mean, I think that people can make the designation themselves. I guess my whole book is, though, about not being fearful of being labeled an older adult or a senior. And I think there's just so much fear in this country, which I don't understand. Today I was reading the reviews of a book. There's a new book that came out called The Weekend that is about three older women who come together when one of their friend dies. I was reading the comments in Goodreads, and a person wrote, "I'm 37. This book terrifies me. I'm so afraid of getting old." And I thought, okay, I've got another book for you to read, and it's called Gray Matters.
So why then is your book, you feel, I'm going to put it out, we're Good News. We love uplifting, positive, life-affirming, upbeat, not beat up, and that's what your book is. So tell us how you were able to create a book like that.
Well, I think one of the most important decisions I had was include the voices of people who are over 65 and not just be a 56-year-old know-it-all who's going to tell older people what their experience is like. So I did a survey. I got over 200 people to respond to it. It was nationwide. There was a link, and people sent it to other people. And so I incorporated a lot of those stories into my book. And so just for example, we think of Alzheimer's and immediately, people have great fear, and that came out in my survey. But like one of the stories that came across was a man whose wife is in memory care. He spends every day with her, and for him, he just can't wait to be with her beautiful presence every day. And that's not a story about Alzheimer's that you're going to see is going to come up very often. But when you ask people directly about who they are and how they spend their time, a lot of interesting counter stories emerge.
Okay. Well, I think one of the things that helps anybody at any age is to have a good perspective of life. What do you think about
Absolutely. I mean, one thing I learned in the research that was kind of terrifying was that having a bad view of old age, it actually takes 7 years off of people's lives.
that? Okay.
So, all of the TV shows, everything that perpetuate, the advertisements perpetuate this is a terrible time of life, they're actually doing people a disservice because people are falling for it, and as a result they're really taking off precious years of their lives by worried and having a negative perception.
I couldn't agree with you. Actually, our whole broadcast is built on it. My mother was the librarian at Temple Emmanuel here in New York City, okay? And she gave me the book, Reverend Norman Vincent Peale's The Art of the Power of Positive Thinking. And I wasn't a good reader. I was one of those young kids that didn't, want to do what his mother said. And so I probably just read the cover, but the cover,
Yeah.
the cover was probably enough for me. Positive thinking. Why? And I guess at that time, and still, why would I not think? Why should I think negatively? I mean, I might think negatively from a bad human being or a bad situation, but life, we're lucky. We are lucky to be breathing. What do you think?
Absolutely. Right. I don't like minimize that there's like a lot of challenges as people get older, bodies do strange things, they become more frail, so and I do, some people are really having a hard time financially. So I really don't minimize any of those in the book, but I do try to take away some of the great fears people have and let them know about the possibility that they don't have to feel badly about their bodies or about their minds, and that there is a lot that's good at every age, that people have, and there's actually benefits to being older besides Social Security.
We still have it. All right. So now the thing is, I'm feeling better already. I'm feeling great. I might have to call you every day. It's 24/7. Now, my question, why don't you share some other stories, because people really like that examples of uplifting people. I will say, and share another, please.
Yeah, well, I would say, I incorporate I bring in my parents as well, and so my mom is 84 years old, she's still working, and I think one of the things that in the chapter on gender about the difference between men and women aging, one of the reasons they say that women do so well, maybe live so long, is they're very adaptable, that they adapt to a lot of different circumstances. And I talk about like somebody like my mom who was a stay-at-home mother, and then she was a psychologist, and now she's working for a senior agency. So she just keeps and she gives lectures. She just kind of keeps reinventing herself. And so rather than think about the losses of people that are no longer with her or that her knee really hurts, she is out there trying to think about what purposeful act she can do every day. And that's something the research supports as well, that having purpose in your life gives people such a lift.
So let me, though, take a moment to ponder that comment that you are saying and sharing, okay? Because I, in essence, had the same mother. My mother was a worker bee and a librarian, and master's degree. She was in the 20s, in those years. She was. I'll even say she's a woman's liberator. Okay,
Yeah.
without ever would ever say those words. So a woman worked. She worked, and so. But I think what is nice is your admiration for your mother, and in essence, a nice opportunity that you were given is that she was a role model. Now, I can't see you again for some reason, but can you hear me?
I can, and it will come back. My computer just always wants to shut down if I don't touch the keyboard for a minute. So hopefully you can see me again.
All righty. I thought a cheese hit you from Wisconsin.
Right.
Like a meteorite, a big piece of cheddar
And some curds, some little curds too.
I'm not going to go there. That seems a little bit risque. I lay low when it comes to curd. Well, in any case, hey!
I'm back. The
I'm
cheese storm
crazy
is
about
over.
your mom. I'm crazy about your mom. Is your mom still with us?
Yes, she is. She is. I see. She's reading the book right now, and that gives me so much validation because I was worried that she would read this book on aging and say, "Ellen, you got it all wrong,"
You're
right?
disowned.
That would be the worst. So, and my dad is waiting for his copy. He's mad that my mom got her copy first, but that is really gives me such assurances that she said, this were her words. She said, "I'm walking a little taller these days because the way that you project being this time of life, you give it such respect that it makes me feel better about myself."
Well, I commend you because you know you've given your parents a very 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 big gift, and it's nice to give parents a very 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 big. My granddaughter just gave me a very 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 one of my biggest gifts in my entire life because
What was that?
she thinks I should run for. She had to do an assignment for school, and she had to pick somebody. I'll share this because it
Yeah.
really does mean a lot to me. And she's only 11, and uh, and she wrote about that. She thought that I should become the president and why I should become the president. And, you know, the president is one thing. Of course, I could do the job if I needed to. But the point is that, and I mean that in a loving, caring, kind, giving way. But those kinds of loving, caring, giving kind of things that make life worth living, as far as I'm concerned, is not, in Yiddish we call it the geld. It's not the money. It's the do good, you know, the goodness towards others. And that's what you've given your parents. You've given them a prize. You couldn't pay for what you gave your mother, I'm sure.
Well, thank you. It does mean a lot to me. I think what your granddaughter said about you means a lot too. It shows respect, and it shows that you've made an impact on her life, and that's a gift for her too, because she's going to have that her whole life.
By far. You know how much it cost me though? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. She wouldn't take 5 cents from me. Thank God. No, I'm just. Oh my! I'm a little fooling around kind of guy. So my wonderment now is, where can we get this book?
Multiple places. It is on Amazon. It will be coming out any day. It was supposed to come out tomorrow, but I don't know. They changed it on Amazon. People can get it from Rutgers University Press, so right by you there, and that's where it got published. Also, any bookstore can order it. Barnes and Noble, or it's an academic book, but I wrote it for everybody. I originally had another publisher, but they weren't going to publish it in paperback, and it was just going to gather dust in academic libraries. And so I said, no way. I want this book in the hands of people whose lives are being talked about. So it is available all kinds of places. Amazon's maybe the easiest, but there are other options. Any local bookstore could order it.
And you have a website, or how do people find you?
I'm on Twitter, and so that's probably the easiest. Or if they want to send me an email, you could just look me up in the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee directory. I have a very easy name. It's Lem E at uwm.edu. So I will respond to any messages and help anybody get the book if they have a problem.
And to go on Twitter, so you don't have a specific website, or do you?
I don't for the book, no, but you can see it if you go to Rutgers University Press. You can see it there. There's an 800 number. I have an aunt who's 96 who wanted a copy of the book, and so I didn't give her Amazon or the website. There's a phone number you can call, an 800 number to the distribution center, and that's probably the easiest way.
Well, what number is that? Can you share that number?
Oh, of course, I don't have it handy with me right now.
So you send
But
that to me, and I'll put it on
okay.
the text here that Zach and that Newman Communications Group shared with me, and they were very high on you, and that to speak with you. I'm going to ask you one last question, and thank you
Sure.
very much. I ask many people. We're very involved with world peace and peace, International Day of Peace, September 21st. But I also ask people, what is love? And I think I'm going to ask you, if that's okay with you. What does love mean to you?
I think love means to me holding a person close to your heart, whether they're there or whether they're not, understanding people's imperfections, but being able to emphasize their strengths. And I think love makes people feel stronger, richer, and makes life matter.
You is a smart one. Okay. Thank you very much. It was a very enjoyable conversation. I wish you much and wonderful success. And I look forward to speaking with you again. It's a real good thing, and we'll talk at a later moment to see how to get your message out to maybe more people. We were involved with the senior organization called SeniorNet, and I think a lot of people need to read your book. So it's all good. Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you so much. Enjoy talking with you.
Nice speaking.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.